Whoa, look, it's time to go viral. I'm homicidal, I'm killing all my rivals. I'm the man, shit, I put that on the Bible. I Spotify my target, cause you know I got the title. Hey, I'm a Mac too. I told baby, shake that ass like she Apple. She said it's real, so she got my name tattooed. House full, so I hit it in the back room. Whoa, baby said she need a nail, peep the urgency. I want a little Kim before she had the surgery. Leg spread on that hardcore poster. She love twerking, she just do it for the coach. Big dog, bull master. 6 tray Chevrolet, I'm classic. All these niggas mad at me, that's tragic. The main bitch in the bed, that's graphic. Yeah, we about to go viral. Hey.
What's the deal, people? It's your boy, the one and only, your host that do the most, Mr. Viral himself, aka the villain. Cause they hate me for my opinion. We back at y'all with another one, the Viral Way Podcast. Make sure you share, like, subscribe to the channel. As always, I got my co-host in the building.
Sheep. Yeah, Messiah the Great. We here to lead the way. You know what time it is, man.
We here to wake the sheep that sleep. We here to lead the way like Messiah say. Hey, y'all, we got an epic one today. This is one of the ones, this going down in the history books. This one for the culture. This one is for the people. This one is going to change the landscape of us as people, period. We got a very, very special guest in the building. I'm pretty sure you all are familiar with world famous Stanley Tookie Williams, the creator and leader of the Crips. Rest in peace. Here on the couch, we have sitting his actual son, Chaazaq.
That's right.
He goes by many names.
That's right.
But today, we gonna call him by Chaazaq.
That's right.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Good to see you, brothers. Everything good, right?
Yes, indeed.
Everything is A1.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
That's right. Y'all got me in this therapeutic chair over here. About to spill my beans out, so that's right.
Got him in the Posturepedic.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, before we start, I just want to commend you, and I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity and blessing our platform with this magic that we about to make today, because I'm pretty sure you had options to go to a lot of different platforms, and I want everybody out there to take note that out of all of these platforms, he chose to come do it with his folks. He chose to come do it with the culture. He chose to come do it with the home team first. So that's the blueprint to the game, because for years and years and years, we've been selling our culture out to these outsiders while they eat off of us, and then we get breadcrumbs or nothing off of it. So everybody take notes. You know what I'm saying? He just laid the blueprint for y'all. Like we say, lead the way like Messiah say. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, man,
Commend you on that.
Man. I appreciate you guys for doing what y'all doing. Like you say, when you say that viral way, man, just looking at social media and everything, that viral way is kind of madness out there with the way everybody going. Meaning the viral way is to, you know, do buffoonery and things of that nature. But to see some young brothers get on there on social media and what I'm talking about and really just, you know, keep it authentic, man. I appreciate you brothers to tell the real and, you know, keep it real and, you know, don't sell your soul per se. So it's my pleasure to be here, man, and I'm ready, man. Let's go ahead and get to it, man.
Yeah, likewise. That's love. We appreciate that also.
Keep doing what y'all doing, man, and don't sell your soul, man. If you do, wipe this episode out of me. Out of it.
Look, man.
You ain't got to worry about
You
that.
ain't never got to worry about that, man. Real, raw, and authentic is the motto.
That's right.
So this is going to be a roller coaster ride. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the origins. Let's start from the essence, because we have all heard story after story after story about your father, from celebrities to friends to interviews to from the news outlets to the books he wrote, even from the horse's mouth himself. Mm-hmm. We've never heard it from his offspring, though. So this is a whole nother perspective that the world gets a chance to get a different insight on not only yourself, but your father, because those are big shoes to fill. That's a big shadow to have to live in as you're creating your own identity as a man and making your own bones out here. So like I said, let's start from the beginning. What was it like growing up as Stanley Tookie Williams' son, the leader and creator of the Crips?
Well, as I reflect on it now, you know, they say hindsight is always 20/20, meaning kind of like when you look back at things, you can see a little bit more clear. So growing up as his son, man, as I go back to my childhood, it was, you know, kind of like any other childhood. I mean, I would just give an analogy kind of like people that's homeless. A lot of times we think that when we see somebody that's homeless, it's because they on dope. But a lot of times people are homeless is not because of just drugs. It could be for financial reasons, all kind of reasons, predatory lending and everything else that we deal with. So I'm saying that to say that, my childhood wasn't some kind of, something that you see on Shy or Power where it was just all drug infested and things of that nature. My childhood was more like, I don't know if you guys familiar with soul food, but the original picture soul food. I come up from a family where, it was family oriented, meaning we got together, played music, had a ball. So, and did what children did. But when it comes to the aspect of my father, now that I look back on it, I realized that I was always getting laced with game, meaning I never knew then why I would have an uncle or an uncle friend would always pull me to the side and, either test me, hit me in the chest, to see if I'm about that, or just give me some game. So as a child, man, now that I look back on it, I had the privilege of dealing with top-notch folks from all realms, man, as far as just what they lacing me with. Meaning if it was square, by him knowing who my father was, even before it was unbeknownst to me, he would give me square game. Just on the strength that, that's Tookie Williams' son. Whether it was my uncle, he would give me his whatever game he in. So as a child, man, like I say, my childhood was normal. We all flipped, did mischievous thing, threw rocks, Willie, played sports, everything that children did back then. But as always, man, you always have one that, as y'all say now, jump off the porch, and one apple spoiled a whole bunch. So when he did what he did, we followed suit. So what I'm saying is, man, it was like, as a child, I was a child that was trying to fit in for myself. It was like my crew didn't look at me, or in my community, didn't look at me as being Tookie Williams' son, because that was we young. We didn't know nothing about that. Now, their brothers and everybody else did, but for me, it was just everything we all did. We all do, just trying to prove myself as a child. Meaning, if it come to William, I'm the best at William. If it come to flipping, I'm going to try to be the best at flipping. If it come to putting your dukes up, I'm going to show I can do that. If it come to throwing a rock and see who can bust that car out, bust that window, I'm going to make sure I do that. So, my childhood was normal, man. It was normal, but like I say, from the aspect of just being Tookie Williams' son, as I look back, it was normal, but it wasn't normal. Meaning also, too, from the fact that I now realize that, man, I was kind of put in a bubble in a sense, meaning,
You had pressure, like expectations.
when you say pressure, not and when I say that, man, not just from that aspect, but from the aspect of back then understanding what these white folk were trying to do to our people. Meaning, we talk about the FBI and everything, which I wasn't aware of back then. That my father's mother is alive today. Most High, allowing her to still be here. And I say that to say that I realize how paranoid she is. Meaning my grandmother's in a cold bubble because of the fact of who she was. So, we talking about, when we gone, people coming in the house, you realizing that, hey, man, this phone or that lamp was right there, but now it's over there. Certain things in your car that wasn't in your car. So I kind of grew up with now that I look back, with the mentality of seeing people who, we wouldn't leave nothing in the car. Meaning, how can you? Because you never know if these folks gonna come, and because of who we related to, put something in that drink. So it's things like that I now understand why I'm the way I am, kind of like reticent in a sense, meaning I'm kind of, quiet when I keep stuff to myself, because I realized that bubble was more on that aspect of it, which when it go into the street life and everything else turned out to be good. But just from a child aspect, I guess I'm just showing you how it started. I guess, like I say, looking back on it, I can see now why I'm the way I am. Just as we all do some, we kind of reflect on our past and whatnot. And you kind of like, everyone know who we are. As you look into yourself, going to yourself, I see, okay, this is why my get down is the way it is. I'm kind of quiet, sit back, observing. But now that I'm knowing from hindsight, from looking back, that, seeing the way my grandmother was, not trusting too many people, not wanting to give her full name, things of that nature, man, that affected me. You know what I mean? I didn't know, but now I do know. So, like I said, I'm going to jump in and out, man, because, I've been on this earth for a little bit of a minute now. So going back, kind of like, it take me a little bit longer than it might y'all. I got to go back. I got to flip more pages than y'all do, man. I'm a little bit older, but it was interesting, man. It was normal, but it was interesting. And I would love to go back, go more into it as we move on, just from my community where I grew up at, man. And,
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And what part did you grow up at?
I grew up off of Vermont, man. I grew up in the Vermont area, what we know as the Hoovers.
Right, so
You
Los
know?
Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles, of course. There, so it was definitely, I always thought, man, sometimes I think back like, wow, the Most High, had me be this man's son, grew up in one of the most notorious neighborhoods it was, and end up being, what I'm representing now, which is them Hebrews. So it's like, man, it's a hell of a, I don't like to use that word transition, but it was
long journey.
Yeah,
It's definitely a
I try to make-
transition.
I don't want to say,
Sure.
hey, that transition, man, you got to be careful with saying transition the way they use it now. You
No, we
I know.
Man, what they say, no Diddy.
No Diddy, no
I know,
Diddy.
I know.
No,
Okay, so
none of
so
that.
growing up in the Vermont area section
Yeah.
of Los Angeles
Yeah.
before the gang banging, were you around before all of that transpired, or
I ain't that old now, bro. But
Okay, okay.
man, don't put me up there. I was it was already there.
it was already going?
But back then, man, as I think back on it, man, it was more pure and it was more family oriented. Meaning, everybody in my community, we knew. It wasn't like you was outside. It wasn't no one that would just come in from another part of the section to come over there. We all grew up together. My family knew they family knew they family, and it was more family oriented, meaning we were school buddies, childhood friends, preschool friends, and things of that nature. So it was a normal childhood, as I say again. But yeah, man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I lost my train of thought real quick.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, man. It's just trying to reflect on it. But your question was,
Okay, this is the question, because you said people would come in the house, people would plant things in your car, and you are an adult now reflecting like, damn, that was really going on. Like, them people was, as a kid though, did they lace you about that? Like, hey, this was, watch out for this and this type of things going on, or did they more so shelter you from that and you just reflecting and now realizing what was going on? Or did you know what was going on back then as a kid?
it was a little bit of both, meaning back then, what we did, we would have our rags out, but when we go in the house, we knew to put them in. Or we would have our pants down, but when we went in the house, we knew to pull them up. So I say that to say that, it's kind of like when we was growing up, before you had these phones and everything, it was two sides to life, meaning you had the inside your home life, and then you had the outside life. The outside life was totally different. So what I mean by that is, in the inside, they tried to keep it from me, or certain things they wouldn't lace me with. But on the outside, I would be getting laced with all kind of games. But as far as that was something that even the outside people wouldn't know, because that was something that was more. That was one of them ones, like, and I'm sure you see something but you don't see it. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm sure we all go through that where you like, no, I know I didn't just see what I seen, but I know
for
I
sure.
seen what I seen. That one of the ones you gonna trick your mind to believe, no, man, that lamp wasn't there. That lamp was always right there, was never right there, but it was. So that's one of the ones that I can say that it was never talked about openly. But as I look back on it and reflect on it and just see certain things and remember certain things, I understand why. I understand why certain things was done. I understand why someone would tell me, don't you leave that car. Don't you leave that. Well, we didn't have water bottles back then, but don't you leave that in the car. Make sure you get that. No, throw that away. Blah, blah, blah. No, come on, grab, you come on. When somebody asks you this, you don't say nothing. These things that, I think, like I say, when we really look back on it, man, we'll see the influence that the pressures from the powers that be had on us in the community. So now I'm speaking from a point of view of, the Malcolm X's, I was just talking to the brother, Fred Hampton Jr. Matter of fact, I got a picture, man, a cold picture with me, Malcolm X's son, and Malcolm X's grandson, the one that supposed to have burned the house, whatnot, and even Fred Hampton Jr. I deal with, man. And I was thinking on that a couple of days ago, like, man, that was a powerful flick, or that was a powerful time to have us in a room together, man. Are you talking about Fred Hampton Jr., Malcolm X, and then Tookie Williams? That's a
legendary pick.
Man, that's just a hell of a combination. That's right. A gumbo, man, of people together, man. So, it's like I say, man, it was just, to answer your question once again, I was getting laced from all kind of angles. And then a lot of things was me just kind of sitting back, observing and seeing and realizing as a child, we see more than we pretend, what they think we see. We know more than what they think we know. So just looking back on it, man, I was being laced in all kind of ways. It was kind of like I was seeing the best of both worlds. When I'm outside, I'm seeing this. When I'm inside, I'm seeing this. You know, I'm hearing this, but in the inside, they ain't saying nothing. So as you start growing up, okay, y'all don't want to tell me about this until I see a news clipping and realize, okay, this what Pop's in jail for. But then, you know, every while I'm going out, but I'm hearing, what's up, Lil Tuck? And I'm not Lil Tuck for those that know. I got a brother that did 31 years that just, you know, came home, all praises to the Most High. So he known as Lil Tuck. I never took on that moniker for different reasons, and I'm sure we're going to get to it. But that was one of the reasons why, too, because, like I say, it was kind of like outside, you have brothers like Biscuit, Bruce, and them. What's up, Lil Tuck, Monkey Man, them. Lil Tuck, Lil Tuck, Lil Tuck. So outside, I'm Lil Tuck. Even though my crew with me ain't really tripping off that, but I know what that means. But then when moms or something around, don't call them that. You know, so it's kind of like, now that I'm sitting in this therapy chair, man, it was kind of conflicting in a sense, man, to where I was just, you know, I don't know which way to go, which made me stand my own ground even more and made me run my own program as far as, man, let me push my line. Because now on one hand, I'm being, you know, I'm being treated, I'm being greeted as this way, but then y'all telling them not to, you know what I mean? So, you know, as a child, you know, I'm trying to find myself. We all suffer from that identity crisis. So I'm sitting here like, man, well, just let me, you know, shit, I don't know who I am there. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just take on the name my grandfather gave me, which was Champ. And that, you know, I never forget that, man. He used to call me, I was known as Champ as a child. He called me Champ. I'm wondering how much of that had to do with that, you know what I mean, as far as being that man's son. But I was Champ. I kind of like, you know, this might be, now I ain't going to say it's ironic, but just out of the fact that from a child to the streets, to me understanding who I really am now at this point, at this age, man, every name I had a C in it. And I'm not going there and trying to, I'm not doing that to just, you know, kind of like on that tip or like that, or just trying to find something where it ain't. But that's kind of like, damn, I was Champ, I was this, to now I'm Chaazaq. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that from Champ to BC to Chaazaq. In the streets, I was BC, now I'm Chaazaq. It's like, wow.
Like
Where that come from?
Like it's already written.
Man, you know how you kind of like, there you go, that part.
That's real ironic. I find it interesting that you said you didn't want to take on your father's name. You know, they say every family has like a black sheep, and that's usually the one who changes things and generations to come for their family. So would you have considered yourself more like the black sheep of the family, meaning like most kids, if they had a father, this is Tookie, he created, you know, the Crips, I want to be Lil Tookie, like naturally, or like Big Meech. I'm Lil Meech. Like he embraces that. You more so like, nah, I'm going to stand on my own name. I'm going to make my own name. I don't want to necessarily live in that shadow.
I mean, that was, man, that's just, I guess that's just my get down. I guess that's why my grandfather, when he put that spirit in me as Champ, you know, man, I'm a champ. So I'm coming up as, man, look, you know, big who? You know, I'm big who I am.
Yeah.
So, man, it's I wouldn't call it a black sheep, like I say, man. It was just more the fact that back then, as far as with our crew, they didn't give a damn who I was. I still had to prove myself. So, you know, being Tookie Williams' son, like I say, it had its pluses and its minuses. It didn't give me nothing when it didn't give me no points when it came to playing basketball. It didn't give me no points when it came to flipping. It didn't give me no points when it came to fighting. I mean, what? Because you big Tookie, I ain't gonna punch you? Man, what you talking about? All right, because you big Tookie, you can't, you know, if we go do something, you ain't got to do it. I didn't have that luxury back then, meaning, so I just was like, you know, proving myself as everyone else, trying to find myself. So not necessarily, I wouldn't say the black sheep, but I would say just more the community I was in. My crew didn't really give a darn about who I was per se. For
like
one,
it still had to be earned.
Man, it's still guaranteed. But that rite of passage, man, you got to earn it. It ain't given. You know what I mean? You got to darn it go take it. So I guess in my walk of life, I was trying to earn my stripes as just trying to be a dude that's hanging out with this community. I'm talking about pre-gang banging. Even though we was all mischievous before we even so-called what y'all call step off the porch, before we even went there, it was just more like, it was more camaraderie and how it morphed into, shall I say, into that street things. And what I mean by that, I was told that in certain parts of the earth or in Africa or whatnot, man, they say that the average man, to prove his manhood, they say that they would have to go out there, and some people, this was stories I heard, they would have to go and maybe, you know, go bring back a lion's tail. I'm just throwing it out there. for us, man, it wasn't that, but it was that, you just had to conquer whatever situation we was amongst or what we was dealing with at that time. You had to do it. So if the flavor of the month was flipping, which we all flipping on dirty mattresses, learning how to flip. We was cold. And I say that to say because all that flipping and everything we did turned out to really us warm with other dudes. That's how the gangbanging came in, meaning we would flip and we'll master our craft. And then we'll go to the park, we'll go to Jesse Owens or something, and we'll flip against them dudes. Then eventually it went from flipping to throwing rocks to, popping willies to now we stealing your bikes. Now we gonna do whatever else we had to do. I just see how it morphed into what it is, man. And so, it's kind of like I say, man, that childhood, man, it's a powder keg growing up in all these communities in Los Angeles, man, but especially in my community, and I know my community is no different than everybody else's community, or my childhood, as far as when we was growing up, is not different than everybody else. But to answer your question once again, or to go back in it, man, go back to it, man, at least I think what saved me was the fact that it was two sides. Once again, it was the house side, which we all respected. We respected each other's mothers. We we respected everybody's yard. Even though we was terrible, we knew, man, look, we gonna go over here and do what we do. We go over here in the field, or we go in the alley, or we go behind these apartments, and that's how I get down. But when we come home, it was still a certain way. It still was, as a child, I'm talking about we was young, smoking cigarettes, chewing tobacco, or just trying everything that was in our community. It wasn't nothing that was introduced in our community that didn't get passed down to us. And I'm saying that to say, so, man, it's what I see in the difference in this generation is we had to go outside to experience it. So with this generation right now, all they got to do is pick up this and experience it.
It's
Which
terrible.
is their phone. It's cold.
It's
man.
crazy because we talk about that all the time. You know what I mean? And I'll just be like, man, they don't know that they really missed out. They really missed out. Like you said, riding bikes, just going swimming or doing whatever you're doing, playing tag, all that type of shit. It's over with now. These kids they addicted.
He said flipping. That just brought me back to when we used to be flipping. That was us.
Had to, right?
Oh God, flipping off the roof and all type of shit. So
I don't give a
to
damn
the
if you
point where
Babe
moms
Ruth
had to come
on
get us
flip,
and make
right?
us come in. Like we didn't even want to go in the house.
That's
Like,
right.
staying
That's
outside.
right. Man, that's what we did, right? Not to coach you off. That's right, man.
that's epic. I got a 2-part question because I know people want to know, how you got to the point you are now. But we always seen your father from a different aspect. I'm more so intrigued by how was he as a father, and what's your fondest memory as a child with your father? And what type of father was he?
I knew I shouldn't have sat in this damn chair.
Let's get into it, man.
Yeah,
Let's get right into it.
Yeah, so man, my father was my father first, but we have to also understand, I have certain memories that, of him being on the outs, but majority of my life, my father was in jail since 1979. So I was, I ain't gonna say, I know y'all gonna try to put 2 and 2 together, but I was young when my father went to jail, meaning it's basically like my father raised me from jail, from prison, shall I say. So, a lot of some of my fondest memories might be from phone calls.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is cold, man. But he was a father. He was struggling with what everyone else struggling with, trying to be a father to me and a lion where he was. That's why I say kind of like us, man. I mean, when we was growing up, we had almost like it was two sides. I was this way in the house, but I was this way in the streets, which we have to do right now. I mean, even us, especially those that don't understand growing up in these mean streets of Los Angeles or California, man, we in here right now, cool. But once you get in that car and once you turn on that
swivel.
Man,
Yeah.
Look, you got to turn to a whole different person, right? It's like, man, it's cold, man, and I don't think we realize the psychological damage that it do to us as a people, man. But it's kind of like, I guess what I'm saying is we used to it. As I started off saying, man, I had both sides. I was this way. I knew this from my family, but then I was going out here and I had OGs from everywhere lacing me. When they see me, come here, little Tuck. Come here, such and such, and I'm going back. But, come here, man. And they telling me this and giving me this game, but then I'm coming in the house and I'm seeing this or I'm hearing this, meaning my family, once again, wasn't just everybody on drugs per se, which a lot of them was, but it wasn't that kind of dysfunctional family. And I'm not saying that being on drugs is a dysfunctional family, but my family was, my family was a solid family. Wasn't no squares, grew up in the projects and everything, but as everybody, I was more on my mother's side than my father's side, which is a whole nother dynamic that one day you guys had me back. We'll get into just the family structure, how that messed everything up too. But I do know my father's side of the family, and going back to that, my father really don't have any brothers. Well, I guess he got one brother from his father's side, but he got a sister. So my father's family was really small with the exception of, my step auntie and them and whatnot. But the fondest memories of my father, man, would just be just matching wits with him as far as any topic, just going over certain things. I think me and him, I used to call him Professor. I think just that man was real intelligent. I labeled him Professor. You know what I mean? I mean, he was very intelligent, wise, and was just picking his brain, or just really just bringing up a topic, kind of like y'all do, and me and him just shooting off on it. When in actuality, I know he giving me my props and saying, man, you a wise young dude, and I'm saying, man, you a wise man yourself. So my fondest memories mainly would be, man, first of all, him calling me little dude, because that kind of like got me to buffing what I was doing. It was really because of him to really just make me just go at it hard at one point in time, because he used to call me little dude, but I knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? What's up, little dude? Like, okay, little dude, I'm gonna show you, little dude. You know what I mean?
Get up under that iron, man.
Watch
Stop
this.
playing.
Okay. Yeah, little dude.
Yeah.
Watch this. So, you know what I mean? So I knew what he was doing. That's why when I was telling you when we talked before, I said, man, it's kind of like, I was talking to a brother, man, saying, man, it's just amazing how, man, that I can like look at certain pictures of this dude and I automatically know what he's thinking. I can tell you his mind state, you know what I mean? What he was on, how he feeling. It's just like, I think, because I look at my sons and say, damn, does that mean that they really just a offshoot of me, or offspring of me, or what they would call reincarnation, man, to just be able to, really go out on a limb and say, man, I can actually look at any picture and tell you, man, Pops is on this right now. But I mean, I say it and I smile because that's kind of like something I hold on to now that he gone. You know what I mean? That's kind of like me and his relationship, even to this day, meaning I might look at a picture, you can't help but see it. You turn on, you on this thing and that thing, you're like, damn, that's my daddy. You know what I mean? To y'all, that's such and such, that's my daddy. Right. But he ain't here. My daddy, y'all killed him, y'all executed my daddy. You know what I mean? Notice I say my daddy. I ain't say no big took or nothing like that. Right. So, you know what I mean? So, my fondest memory was just, once again, man, just shooting the breeze with him, or talking intellectually, but also just, just getting to know that side of him. I really seeing, okay, I'm gonna take that monster side away that everybody then said and what we didn't see, what everybody said and what he might have, I ain't gonna say portrayed, but what he might have did, but just seeing him as a man, you know what I mean? And helping him shape me as a man. So it's my fondest memory, man. It's just, just picking his brain, shall I say.
Was y'all able to talk to him before they did all that? Before they did the execution?
Yeah, man. That was, yes. No doubt. I talked to him 30 minutes before. I was his last conversation, man. Before he told me he had to go. And I always say, man, how many people can really say that they just actually know the time that know when they gonna die per se? Meaning that's like we right here and we watching the clock and that, look, man, in 10 minutes it's over. No, it's over. It was cold, bro. I talked to him like 30 minutes before, man.
Where was his state of mind? Is just that he already accepted it? Or do you think he was just like, man, or do you think he had more regrets?
Just knowing him, knowing me and knowing him, man, and knowing that I am him. It ain't, regrets is something that I'm sure it's something that, we learn to. You
gotta learn to live with him.
Man, that stuff right there holds you down. That's extra weight. I already got enough weight on my head. So regret is something, I'm gonna say more he was tired, which was his exact words. But more tired of just like, man, I'm sure if you play it back or listen to what he said, listen what happened when the nurse or whatever was doing what she was doing as far as about to inject that 3 deadly combo. That's a 3-piece combo that they give them.
So they couldn't even find it. It took like 30 minutes or something like that,
he told her, like, from what they say, I definitely, man, I kind of wanted to be there, but I didn't want to be there. So I had the choice of being there, but then it's like, nah, man, I don't want to see that. But anyway, just knowing, like you say, that's exactly it. We saying, come on, hurry up. So, that's what we do, man. We kind of like fortitude. I'm sure you got it, where we face challenges head on. Or we have the mental ability to, the mental strength, shall I say, and ability to fight danger head on or run to it. I
Right.
was always told, don't run from it, run to it. So I think that kind of like thing that kicked in which that's the part of life that I think that us as young brothers, man, or these brothers in the streets, I was meditating on it, and I'm still going on what you said to understand that, man, that fortitude. If we could take the fortitude that we all have, man, and put it towards something that's constructive, or we'd be dangerous. Meaning we face danger head on. So just imagine if all of us in these communities could face that danger or face that or have that fortitude to say, man, let's go push up and make sure we do this. Let's stop all this madness. Let's stop them from, forcing this stuff on our children. If we had that fortitude, if we used that fortitude in a right way, man, we would be cold. It's something where one of these brothers said, I think it was Khalid Muhammad said, man, it ain't nothing wrong with banging, it's what you banging for. So, I know you know what I'm doing. I'm really kind of running from your question because you're going to have me over here trying to get teary-eyed. But I'm going back to it.
I was going to ask you something else. I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah. You already see how I kind of but no, man. But to answer your question, bro, man, I'm going to say something and I'm going to show you how deep it was, man, and you can do your fact check. I'll never forget, man. We was at the house, man, and everybody over there, I'm kind of like sitting around, we waiting. So I get the phone call. It's like 12, no, I don't want to say 12:30, 11:30. It's 30 minutes before. So, one thing I can say, I will share, me and him kind of like ended it with saying the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven. That's the last thing I said to him. And I had people tugging at me, wanting to talk to him, my auntie, my moms, and them. And I'm like, man, I'm kind of like, once again, here I am as in my childhood, caught in the crossword. Do I go this way or do I go this way? Meaning, do I just sit up and hog the phone or do I let somebody talk for a second or something? So, man, I'm over here just holding the phone where it's kind of like, man, people, let me say something. Man, shit, excuse my language, but, what do I do, man? So my point is, man, he talked to a couple of people, but as that was going on, I kind of got a little frustrated, as we all do. And I just looked around. I said, man, all y'all get the hell out. Y'all go. It's time to go. So I tell everybody to go, man. And this was, of course, he hung up. I'm not going to, after he hung up or after I got on the phone with him and just hearing him, as I remember, say, I got to go. I'm already in my mind knowing, man, you about to go and they taking you one step or one room away from, them tying you up and or laying you down and doing what they doing. So he like, I'm hearing him. All right, sir. All right, Williams, come on. I'm like, oh, wow. He like, I got to go. That's the last word my father said to me, man. I got to go. I'm knowing, he got to go like, hey, man, I got to go. I'll see you back. Or the phone about to cut off. No, I got to go. I got to go what? Go where? I got to go to this chamber so they can do what they do. This is the barbaric, this is how barbaric, this government and whatever it is, man. But that's a whole nother topic. But just hearing that, man, and it's like, so I'm feeling loony. I tell everybody, look, y'all got to go, man. And I go in the room or I go in the house. Some just say, man, you about to sit up here and just watch the news to wait because, of course, we trying to wait to see if Arnold Swatter, the ninja, was going to do what he do and give a stay because I was under impression from other people that it was a chance that he would.
I feel like he was part of the reason.
Man, come on, man. It was just, it is, as I look back at it, it is what it is. It was just in the most high cards, man, for it to happen that way. That's the way I see it. But I feel like he kind of inflicted the punishment, or he forwarded the affliction. Definitely he forwarded the affliction. But like I say, man, I kind of like was stuck into, do I sit up here and watch the news for them to say? Because how do I know that it's being done or not or what's going on? So we got to sit up here and we got to watch the news, really, because it's a countdown. Everybody watching. The whole world is watching to see, okay, are they going to do it or not? I just hung up for him. He can't call me back. I don't have nobody in the inside that I trust that's gonna call me. It was some people there, but that's a whole nother story. But so I'm stuck as being his son to sit and say, okay, do I sit up here and do I just watch the news like just an average Joe and just watch to see what y'all gonna do to my pops? Man, turn everything off. I made everybody go to sleep. It's count time. Everybody go to sleep. It's count time, bedtime. Get out, go to sleep. You know what I mean? So I cut off everything, man, and I'm sitting there, bro. And this to show you how real it is, man, and how we can tap into it. This is how I know it's a higher power, and I can't wait till eventually, we get into that, man, to understand how dynamic this is. But I'm sitting there, and I'm like, What do I do? What do you do when you don't, it's like, man, you checking the clock, but you ain't watching the TV. There wasn't no cell phones like it is now, so how do I know if it went through or not? So I'm saying, okay, am I going to get a phone call or whatnot? And I just say, man, you know what? The hell with it. I made the decision. I'm not about to sit up here and watch this. I don't want to see it. So I sit back. I'm laying in the bed, man, everything going through my head. And I say, you know what, Lord? Hey, man, if they going to do it, you just going to tell me, right? So I'm sitting back, man, and of course, I'm panicking and whatnot. Not even going to say panicking, but I'm going through what I'm going through. Emotions running through my head. And all of a sudden, man, as I'm laying in the bed like this, I'll never forget, it's like something just took my big toe, man, and pulled it back. And I jumped up and said, man, they did it. That's all I said. They did it. And as I look back and as I research, man, this was 12:06. You Google and see what happened at 12:06. This is how real it is. And I think this might be why now that I'm looking where I'm saying, man, I can look at this picture, man, and know what's going on. So I guess what I'm saying too, y'all thought y'all killed him, but he's still here.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's still here.
He lives on.
He's still here. He's sitting right here. You know what I mean? In that essence. So, I mean, in that sense. So, yeah, I'm just saying the power of just how, man, I don't want to say mental telepathy, but I don't think we realize the power we really possess because it was what I asked for was given to me. That's the power of words, what I think y'all youngsters got to understand too of what y'all saying, man. That, if I'm sitting up here telling you, spilling my beans out or spilling my hearts out, telling you, look, man, I actually, without TV, got the news that something happened to my pops. It wasn't no bird, wasn't no note on his, beak bringing it to me. It wasn't nothing like that. It was actually through the energy or through the forces or through the Most High, let's call it what it is, really telling me, yeah, it was done, son. You know what I mean? At the exact time. Because when I looked, it was 12:06. I'll never forget it. And if you read the countdown, tell me what happened at 12:06. Some of y'all go ahead and do it. Y'all Google heads. And you see what happened at 12:06. But I'm saying that to say that just shows the power in words per se, man. That if I could do that and be told something, what are we manifesting with what we saying out here in these communities, on these rap records, in this music, man? Like, we gotta do something, man. I really believe we gonna have to start, man. We gotta get together and get all them dudes with fortitudes and go start snatching these rappers up. Like, man, they got it, man. This time, man, we gotta tie their ass up by the legs and tell them y'all and spank them and tell them y'all gotta cut this out, man.
Yeah.
You think it's more so the rappers or the people behind them that's pushing the rappers to push that out there?
Of course, but it comes a time where, man, you grow up. And I want to hear your perspective too, but I think it come a time where you say enough is enough. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let you do them. Okay, it's definitely them, and I definitely put that on them. But I guess it's just, man, they just young minded. It seemed like it would come a time to me to where you realize you being played. You know what I mean? To where you say, okay, I'm about to stop letting you play me, or is it just? So I would say both, but then I would say that, or is it just? And it's a whole nother dynamic that, if we go into that, it's gonna go where it's gonna go. But to where you gotta say, man, or is it just the selfishness in our community or the self-hatred to where I don't give a damn about you no way. If I shoot you, I don't care what happened to your family. I don't care the turmoil that I'm bringing in your household. F you. It's all about me, and no one else. So I would say it's a combination of everything, but it's definitely on them, on the A&Rs or whatnot, and everybody else, because, man, they don't have to allow it to be out there. If you ask me, they can stop it. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna hear nobody else talking how we talk.
Yeah, that's a great point. We talk about this all the time about how they cause the division in our communities, but I'm at the point to where we can't play the blame game no more.
I agree.
We in the age of information. We know what's going on.
I agree.
We know they're gonna give a select few a few dollars. They're gonna give you the fame. They're gonna give you everything, but at the cost of your own community. So at what point, like you said, do we get together as a collective and say, we're taking control of the community.
That's right.
We're changing the narrative.
That's right.
This ain't finna be what's making the money no more. You
That's
know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Better in our community gonna make the
That's
money.
right.
Even with these platforms.
Right.
You don't get the views unless you're doing some type of bullshit.
That's
some
right.
type of degeneracy, making your own people look like a fucking fool. Your women come up here making themselves look like fools, and that's what garnishes the income. So at a point, we gotta say, hey, something gotta be worth more than money. You got to stand for something. So I like that you said that. And I know you don't like the word transition, but just to backtrack a little bit, at that moment, was that the moment that kind of woke you up and said, I need to find a different route? Because from the streets to where you are now, from the gang banging to being an Israelite, it's similar in a way, but it's different missions. Like you said, nothing wrong with gang banging, but what's the mission? What you gang banging for? You know what I'm saying? Over here, we don't have the right direction in. We don't have the right end game. You know, everybody, they put their life on the line, everything. But I feel like if we navigate to a more positive end game, we actually need that. But we need it to go in the right direction, the direction you in now, per se. So was that the moment to where you woke up and was like, this is what I'm on now?
That was a defining moment to me. It wasn't an actual moment, but I could say that was one of them defining moments. It's always, it's always, man, a combination of things. So I can say that was one that just made me say, like I say, okay, I'm gonna push this line as far as the mission to redemption. I'm gonna push redemption, even harder for him. Because I already knew who he was as far as my identity is. And that's what me and him were going to it about, who are we as a people? That's my question I always ask. Who are we? But so that was a defining moment that definitely just made me realize these other people ain't playing. You know what I mean? To see somebody do that, it's kind of like it's no different than a cat who, jump off the porch because he witnessed his brother get his brains blew out. Or he see his father, getting harassed and beat up by the police, and now he want to join the Black Panther. So it's always something that, that push you to go a certain way. You know what I mean? So, you think of what Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Majority of them are in there, and there's no slight to them or no disrespect to them, but majority of them push that line because they didn't had somebody, their child die, from a drunk driver, get killed from a drunk driver. So that was one of the ones that definitely kind of like made me square up a little bit more, or just made me say, let me go hard on this route as far as pushing his message and everything else, man. But, going back to what you were saying, man, just hearing what you were saying, what you were speaking eloquently about just the community and where we headed and what we doing and changing the narrative, man, it's now or never, man.
I agree. I want to go back to what you were just saying. I think a lot of that stuff do stem from self-hatred and like more so like self-preservation, because like you say, more people are for self. But I feel like more so majority of other, say, races, I should say, are more predominantly working together. You know what I mean? And I think it take more level-headed. It's going to take more, I should say, reputable people in the streets to start heading that direction before the rest feel like it's cool to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, just to backtrack a little bit, like he was saying, as far as reputable people, our youth aren't influenced by the politicians. They aren't influenced by the they're influenced by what looks cool. Like when we was outside and the dope boys and the gang, that was what was cool to us. So you living through that and surviving that, I feel like you can be a major voice for change. Like your father was attempting to. And I feel like that's part of the reason why they execute him. Like, nah, we need this cycle to continue. And this is the biggest voice out here. He created this shit. That's Community revolution in progress. We gotta get rid of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it spiraled out of control. And we at where we at. But like you said, right now is the time. It's now or never. But I don't want to go too deep into where you are now. I want to kind of focus on your childhood a little more, just to give the people a little background on you as far as when you quote unquote jumped off the porch. Did you ever talk to your father about it, or did he just find out on his own? Because to me, that's something we all dealt with, as far as like even me and him, when we quote unquote jumped off the porch, we wasn't telling moms. We wasn't trying to, we trying to hide that fact. You know, we didn't have no father to go talk to and guide us through this shit. We out here learning on our own. You having somebody who created this shit that you jumped into. Did you ever turn to him for advice, or did he find out on his own, like, hey, little man, I hear what the fuck going on. Like, what's up? Little dude. Yeah, little dude. I hear what you out here doing, little dude.
Yeah. No, it was, of course, he heard, and he gonna drop certain innuendos. But remember, when you in that situation, every 5 seconds, boop, this call is being monitored by the such and such, California correctional facility, blah, 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 blah. So it's only certain things he gonna say, because even in his situation, man, everything he said, everything he did was being used against him at the point where he was, especially at the time when he was trying to go into this redemption. So he was pushing a line of redemption, which is to change or convert into something of value. So at that point when he was pushing that, anything he say, or if I mention, and just knowing, like I say, this was something that in this world, and I'm sure that anyone as far as the Malcolm X and Farrakhan's and Fred Hampton Jr.'s and all these other political prisoners, the Larry Hoover's family, they would understand. And not saying you guys don't understand. It's kind of like, I guess I would use the analogy of what you were saying, just you and bro sitting in the house at the dinner table with moms. Y'all just know it's certain things we ain't gonna even talk about. We could just did something where we both sitting here still shaking, skid marks in our drawers and everything from, what we just witnessed and seen and everything else. But we got to sit up here and play it cool. And I'm telling you, you better not act like you about to cry. Say, no, just keep on going. And she find out what happened to Larry. Larry just got his brains blew out, mama. I'm saying that to say that, man, it's almost like a hidden rule where, it's certain things he knew that he couldn't say or wouldn't say, but we knew where it was going, meaning we still talking in codes, per se, on the phone. Remember, our communication, everything we doing is through a phone or via letter. So for him to outright just say, hey, man, what's up, man? I heard your homie Whoop-de-Whoop told me you over here acting right. What? Wow, that's going to lead to him getting caught up in something, because they listening right now and saying,
you still active.
There you go. Yeah. So that right there, that's what I'm saying. There's certain things like that could never really come out, but it'll come out. You know what I mean? Where it might just be like, yeah, man, keep your head on the swivel. Of course, he didn't talk like that. He would use, words to where I got to go, damn, they have a dictionary right here by me. I write it down and like, man, let me go see what this dude talking about. So just going back to what you're saying, man, it was inevitable for him to know. But, I never told him nothing. He just knew, but then he might drop something like, yeah, man, I just seen such and such. I just that was just my brother such and such, and I already know what he talking about. Oh, you talking about TS. You know what I mean? So I know when he say that, TS,
Yeah, if you know, you know.
He know you, he know. He asked me, I'm saying, oh, yeah, man. I heard he's a good brother, something like that. And we push on. So, I don't want to give too much game or whatever. I say that because I'm sure it's still brothers who dealing with political prisoners right now that have to move this same way. We forced to move this way. Not that we trying to hide anything, but we know that you idiots gonna take anything we say and it can and will be used against us. So that, man, that move right there was something that, knowing him, I don't think he would have stopped me anyway, because he couldn't. Because, that's where that kind of like that guilt come in, where we know, like, or I didn't want to say regret or guilt, or that, who am I to say something? I'm dealing with a lot of brothers right now, man, some solid cats that we still in that point, or are they still in that phase right now where it's like, man, how can I really tell somebody something when I did it, where I'm like, no, man, we got to tell them if it's wrong, it's wrong. You know what I mean? It's wrong. So I'm imagining he would have been, he never questioned it about me. He never questioned me about that, meaning why? It was just more like, man, look, man, just do you, be careful. Things that a father would tell anybody if he went to the Army or if he went to the NBA, man, you just gonna, try to give him your blessings and words of encouragement and, keep from getting injured and things of that nature. Don't fall for these girls and things of that nature. But
I found it, not to cut you off.
Oh, you good, bro?
When I was doing research on your father, I found it wild that, a lot of us, we speak this death before dishonor type of motto, bravado.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching an interview where it said, he possibly could have been spared if he would have debriefed and admitted the guilt. So to me, I felt like they more so wanted to tarnish his image in the eyes of the people. And he always maintained his innocence up until the last day, never debriefed, nothing like that. And with him being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, they also try to tarnish his name with that. Like Mother Teresa was put up for a Nobel Peace Prize. This person. Why is he up to that? And I find it funny that you call him the professor, because when I hear him speak, it's the total opposite of what I was expecting from the image that they paint. And when I hear you speak so eloquently and well. It's like, did you pick that up from him? Did that inspire you to, hey man, I got to get my knowledge up. I got to get my game up. I got to get,
Definitely. There's no question about it. I mean, it's like when you were saying Lil Meech. I mean, I don't know too much about him, but I'm sure everything he's doing, he's trying to, I guess, mimic his father in a sense, or try to, live out that lifestyle. That's kind of like my big homie. Even though I had big homies, that was my big homie. So, man, everything about me even today is still him. You know what I mean? Meaning from my getting understanding on certain things, from my learning how to speak, how to conduct myself, exercising as far as lifting weights. Yes, everything kind of come from him per se. So yeah, I did pick that up from him. I picked up a lot of things from him, So yeah, definitely. And like I say, man, this is you guys got me in this couch once again, man. So this stuff is like this I ain't even cracked this, I ain't even cracked these pages open. I call them pictures because they're images in my brain. I'm just now cracking these pictures open for a lot of y'all. So y'all get some exclusives. Y'all better make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. And
all
do
that.
what y'all supposed to do. If not,
man.
I ain't saying no more. Matter of fact, let me see somebody do it right now.
The viral way.
No more
Look,
talking.
turn it up.
Do it the viral way. We ain't doing it no more. Wait a minute now.
Now, this is big because a lot of this information that you revealing has never been heard before. And these are questions
definitely
a lot of people have. I know I don't even want to make it all about your father. I want to
That's cool.
get more about you as a person, but we kind of trying to piece it together for the world. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole city alone was influenced by your dad. Long Beach, this is the only city with all Crips. Like, we all were influenced by something he created. And I feel like it almost is coming back full circle. Like, it was written like, okay, your father created something that spiraled out, and it went from, people like to say community revolution and progress. We protecting our own, and it spiraled out to something negative. And now I don't want to call it a movement, but the lifestyle that you're a part of now is about building us up. So it's like, it's almost full circle. It's like something your father started, and now the torch is on you to mend, what he started. Because not necessarily saying he started it to be something negative, but that's what it turned into. And now what you're a part of now is about positivity and fixing our people. So I find that ironic. So do you feel like that was written in your destiny to, you got to be the one to be a part of fixing what he started?
Of course. No question about it. I was in the Bible, we have a word that's called predestined. So this man, I was like, this path for me was already chosen. And I kind of feel like that's why, he had to get moved out the way too. Because even his message wasn't as powerful as my message. Meaning my message is just as big as his message because of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something spiritual. He was just saying change, which is one of the steps. But what I'm on, or what I'm on right now is, and I say that, and of course I know he'll be here and he probably look like, man, what you talking about, little dude? But I know that, what I'm saying is, and nothing trumps what the message I'm coming with right now. Nothing trumps this. It's nothing on the face of the earth that trumped the message I'm coming with. And the message I'm coming with right now is for everybody. Who are we? Who are these people in these black and brown people in these communities doing this madness that we doing? Who are we? And no one has answered that yet. I mean, who are we? Don't come telling me I'm a Crip, I'm a Blood, I'm this, I'm from the South Side. No, who are we? What's our make? What's our motto? Can't nobody answer that. So, man, nothing. I think back on it and it's sad, but that's the way it is, because sometimes it's kind of like, man, you just, everything, like the brother was saying, man, everything is just, man, it's just meant, man. Meaning, some brothers, man, you got to think. Certain brothers, I always tell this story, and you guys, I'm on Clubhouse, man. I know Whack 100 and them, it made that seem like it's not, it's not conducive for our soul as far as, what's going on Clubhouse. But I'm on Clubhouse. Let's Talk Christ. Y'all can look it up on Tookie Son Speaks. That's on Clubhouse, man. I do a little series on there every Wednesday at 7:10. I get down on there and just, share certain things. We have some good little messages on there, good little topics on there, man, and not trying to take away from what y'all doing. But I guess what I'm saying, man, is I realize now that, like, he had to kind of get out the way, or he started it for me to just jump on him and do what I'm doing. Just like them young brothers you see I got over there, they next. Mosai gonna move me out the way eventually to tell them, no, go push the way y'all gonna push it, because whether we want to by force or choice, we definitely gonna head in this direction. It's just whether it's kind of like, man, I'll give a story and I'm gonna bring up the Bible. I know a lot of people don't, get out with that Bible, but they say that in the wilderness, man, we stayed in the wilderness for 40 years. But really, it didn't take 40 years. We was going in circles because of our disobedience, because we refused to just humble ourselves and hearken and listen. So what could have took, I'm just throwing this out there, what took 40 years could have took 4 months. Think about that. 40 years, 4 months turned into 40 years. What could have been 4 months turned into 40 years. We could have just went a straight route out, but he had to keep us going in circle to allow them knuckleheads to die off, the ones that was rebellious, the ones that's disobedient. So, man, it's just a way of life, bro, that sometimes it's like stepping stones, or it's like steps. He was a step, but of course that, he not the final step. He just one step to where now somebody else got to come and build on that. So I definitely believe that, him going, man, was just part of the plan, man. It had to for me to stand on my own a little bit more and push what the Most High had for me to push, because like I say, we would have just been more on just dealing with the gang, stop gang banging, redemption, which is still part of this mission. And I'm still on redemption, but now we need spiritual power, man. We need spiritual help. Right now, that's what we missing. We got everything, but we need a spiritual lobotomy. As far as in the community, we missing something in the inside. That inside of us is gone, man.
Yeah,
outside,
the soul is thirsty.
Man, we need it, bro. It's missing. And I think that's where I come in at, to at least explain to the community, to them brothers out there, them brothers in prisons and everywhere else. Look, man, let me just understand. I think I know who we are as a whole. I ain't talking about what we want to be or where we from. I know who we are, because without identity, man, identity is a set of characteristics in which an individual can be recognized by. So just imagine we a car. It's kind of like sometimes you see them cars driving down the street and they got tape and stuff all on it to where it won't let you know the make or model. But this a new car that's coming up, but you see the wheels, but you don't know, damn, you look and say, man, wait a minute, it look like it's a Tesla, but it could be a Ford, it could be a Volkswagen. You don't know. That's us. Everybody else running around here, they know what car they are. We the only damn people running around here in a car that's wrapped up and we don't know who we are. See? That's that right there. That we not even in the game. We shouldn't even be on the road until we really find out what car we are, man. And that's the biggest problem I see right now in the community, is that we don't have an identity, man. Once we know who we are, we got something to shoot for. Me and Brother Messiah was kind of going into it a little bit last time about it, man. So I think that's right there. If I had to start somewhere, or if I had to pick up from where my father left off, of course, redemption, to change or convert to something of value, but I would say redemption with identity. Identity is a set of characteristics in which an individual can be recognized by. Who are we as a whole? Who are we, man?
That's a cold analogy. That's a cold analogy. Like you said, we don't know what type of car we are. You don't even know what type of gas to put in it. Do it take diesel? Do it take 91? Do it take 87? How can the car go if you don't even know what to gas it up with?
Not run smooth.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm going to be putting diesel. I'm going to put this. I'm going to think I need this and this, man. That's what we're dealing with right now. So, and not to cut you off, man, because like I said, I really want to sit and listen to you brothers, because I check you brothers out. You brothers got a wealth of knowledge too, man. And so hopefully that's the way these interviews go, or way it keep going, to where, man, don't just sit up here and have me talking. Y'all make me feel
no,
absolutely. A Catholic priest or something.
Listen,
here.
listen, you the man of the hour right now.
I'm doing the talking to y'all.
You the man of the hour right now.
We trying to let you get it. Trying to let you get it all out of the system. Yeah.
Okay. So,
because even where you going, them is lanes that I actually like getting into, the high power conversations. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's just more so, like you said, just
let me get it off my chest.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
do more so for the people, and then we can be able to build on it.
Yeah, because the way it works with the people, they want to hear what they want to hear, and then you drop the knowledge on them. You put the candy and the medicine. You know what I'm saying?
You have to, right?
So it's all type of questions that the world want to. Oh my God, this is Tookie Williams' son. How about this? How was he like? They want to know that. Get that out the way. Okay, here go this knowledge for you though. This is who we are. I know this is who we are, and this is how we can fix this. You know what I'm saying? And you a wealth of knowledge for that. But I just wanted to more so piece together the pieces for them, because you said something interesting in somewhere in the middle of the interview, you said you had a picture with Malcolm X's son and who else's son?
It was me, man. It was as far as the picture, it was me, Malcolm X, me, Malcolm X's grandson. If you know, Nas did a song, man, and he said something, you know, man, I don't want to get to quote this brother lyrics wrong, but he said something about little badass killed Betty Shabazz, burned up the house or something. This dude, he man, the brother, man, he was a little cool brother, man. I'm gonna try to find this flick, man. This brother, he died in Mexico or something. I think I don't know what happened, but it was him and his Fred Hampton Jr. Fred Hampton Jr., man, is a brother that's in that Black Panther Party or something. You can Google him a cold picture, but we was in the presence together, man. A picture, I don't have a picture, but I remember we was amongst each other, man. So
how did that come together? How did y'all link up? That's some legendary people right there.
I can't even tell you, bro. I think it was it was this brother, man, and I don't want to be wrong, man. It was this brother from Oakland, man, and I think it's JR. JR, if you out there, man, get at me, man. I think this brother JR did it. But this me and Malcolm. This is grandson right here. I know the people can't see it, but yeah, that's Malcolm. That's the one who did. I don't know too much about the story, but suppose that burned up Malcolm's mother or wife's house or something, and somebody died. I think she died, man. They say he did it. So I don't want to just put that out there on a young brother. He not here now, but that happened, I think, between, like I say, man, because of, you know, what happened with my father and everything, man, I'm always shaking hands or rubbing elbows with someone, and this brother just happened to know somebody who knows somebody, and it just was meant to happen. It wasn't like, hey, man, let's get y'all three together. It wasn't that way. It just happened.
Yeah.
Was you and your older brother, was y'all close when you was younger?
That's my younger brother. I'm the eldest. Brother? But yeah, okay. But you know, man, it's kind of like, no, it's not at all. It's because you know how it is with these women thing, and you know we ain't gonna even go there because they're gonna be throwing eggs through the camera. But you know, we know how that go, man. Shit, you know.
Hey, I take them. I'm the villain for a reason, man. Hey, I'm the villain for a reason.
They be on you, so yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, they but nah, man. You know, kind of like them women things. So you know, my mom and his mom, I know they wasn't seeing eye to eye because we less than maybe a year and a half or 2 years apart. So he out there from the project, so. Right. You know that ain't going down. You ain't taking him over there with her, and I'm sure that's how it went without even knowing. But I know for some reason it wasn't, you know, they don't even let you see your baby when you come home with lipstick on your collar.
Nah, facts. Look, we're gonna make this a multi-part thing. We don't want to get at people everything.
That's right. Yeah.
But this is something that I've always wondered about. When the whole thing happened with your dad, you seen celebrity after celebrity after celebrity jump out there, attach their name to it. To what was going on and to your father. Since everything that happened, you know, that's water under the bridge now. And have they reached out to you and the family?
Man, come on. What you think?
Because back then they were talking about, yeah, we need to do this. We need to change. I'm here if you need me. And it's like, okay, now that the hype is gone, the news stories are gone. You don't get no more publicity for speaking on it. Now it's time to do the real work. I don't see nobody.
Man, come on.
So nobody is reaching out to the family.
Man, I don't even want to put that out there. Man, I had brothers like y'all that was solid. It's the ones that nobody knew that stayed down and still stay down. So to the ones that did, from brother CP and brothers like that was down for, and a lot of other people I'm not mentioning, but that, you know, that always, I'm not talking about it. So if I didn't mention you, that's because you're already in the circle. But for those that are kind of like out of the circle, there's one brother CP, that he always tapping in, man, and doing certain things. But if you talking about from Snoop Dogg, and I don't want to put him out there, I'm sure that's where you're going, and everybody else, I'm not going to even put no smut on him like that. It just wasn't meant. I'm going to say it like that. Me and him, maybe we just never meshed, man. I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know, but my pop spoke good about him, and I don't want to, yeah, my pop spoke good about him, my pops liked him, and, me and him, we never really got out, man. He talked to my mom, but me and him never really got to link up like my father wished we would. I wanted us to. That was part of his wishes, man, as far as, because I was kind of doing that music a little bit too and not going there. And I know somebody going to say, well, you just bitter. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying it's the brother's fault. I just think that from somebody in his camp and somebody in his ear didn't want that to happen. That's kind of like my life, man. That's why, I'm here right now, man. It's a lot of times, like I said, remember I told you, man, that lamp was supposed to be right there, was there, but I know that lamp there. Somebody moved that lamp. That's just my life, man. That's what I, and that's something I've been living with all my life as far as, man, stuff's supposed to go one way, but it don't because for some reason, somebody doing something. I kind of thought that about you when I hear from you. I already told myself, I told my man, I say, somebody whispered in that dude ear. Told him, don't get with him.
Come on, man.
No, it's no disrespect to you.
No, I get what you're saying.
I appreciate you for that, for being a stand-up dude anyway.
No, we real.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I'm not saying it to, make fun of you, but that's what I'm used to. I can't help, that's just my get out. I'm used to, hey, man, we're going to do such and such and such and such, and then you never hear from them. I'm like, okay.
Oh, no. Just to clarify for the people, not to cut you off, I was out the country.
No, you was doing your thing.
I was bouncing around 3 different countries. As soon as we come back, we back to work, baby.
We still ain't
in here.
Go there. I'm still questioning how y'all getting all the places. I can't get past Long Beach.
Hey, he was out the country. I was out the country. We back.
Look, I'm still trying to figure
Come on, man. Talk to it.
Hey, y'all doing all that and y'all got me on this damn couch.
Hey, look. Man, you got to pop out with us one time. We got to plan something.
Look, man, we definitely going to do it. But I say that to say, man, not to be facetious, but as far as on the brother, because I don't want to keep bringing him up, man, but I know it is what it is. But, I'm not going to put that on there. I'm sure he going to hear this, so I'm not putting that on him. I think
not even just Snoop.
It's just, but
it's just a collective, because there's so many people that'll go off your father's rep, go off of who he is. He's then, I ain't going to say damn near, he's a legend. He's a mogul to a lot of people, especially from where we come from. So it's like a lot of people that so-called had love for him, it's more so like you say, out of sight, out of mind now. You know what I mean?
Now, but he got a son out here that's still trying to do what they're claiming they wanted to do.
No, that's basically what I'm saying.
Nobody reaching out. That don't make sense to me, because I even was curious, did Jamie Foxx come to you or the family as they were making that movie? Because naturally, if I'm playing the father, Stanley Tookie Williams, and his son is out here, I'm going to come holler at the family. Hey, how was your pops? Like, no disrespect, but I want to show my respect before I get on this screen and act this out for Hollywood. Like, me personally, we need to get the family involved. The same way 50 ran the BMF story, he got Lil Meech on the screen. But you know what I'm saying? Did Hollywood try to come get the family involved, or they more so, nah, we just finna make money off of this?
We don't want it anyway. Hollywood is Hollywood, so no. I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, this dude, like, I think Judge Mathis, mainly with my moms, because you got to understand, man, my mother, man, was the first Crip-let. My mom, she's a powerful figure too. Meaning she was the first woman to be considered as a Crip. The first Crip-let. So she more, like I say, she more the type that want to be out there, man. I come from, my community, we didn't play these lights, camera, actions as far as what they doing now. It was strictly business. Yeah, man, come on, man. We don't, so that's just part of me. So it's my fault too, in a sense, because like I say, man, I'll never fit. I'll get this story, man, and since we going in, y'all got me in this damn chair.
Let's get it, man.
Sofa, man.
Faraway exclusive. Let's get it.
I guess, man, you could say that, man. I'll never forget the time when Snoop and them was speaking, and I don't know, I keep bringing his brother's name, though, when they was having that little rally at San Quentin, and me and my boy, Most High Bless His Soul, brother Baaf, man, we pull up, and at San Quentin, they all the way at the gate, but it's people all the way, it's a little narrow street, man. It's people all the way packed with Save Tookie shirts on, and I'm sure you can pull it up and see it. This event that I'm talking about, this time that I'm talking about, this is when Snoop and the lady was speaking, and we'll get into her, and I'll say I think that's what really kept me and Snoop away from each other, is, just the different people involved didn't want us to meet or whatever, for whatever reasons. But, man, I was walking up, man, and you could just see, like, news reporters doing interviews and talking or just doing whatever they doing, like, hey, we're live here. And, man, you just see people, like, looking, and they'll look at me. And me and my boy, we looking at each other, man, but we walking to the front. But people looking like, damn, that gonna Tookie Williams right there. I mean, I'm actually, we walking, bro. I'm talking about the crowd. You just see people like, free him, or whatever. And they'll turn around and look at me and stop. But I'm saying that to say, man, that's just my get out. I'm just sitting there just walking like I'm one of them, but we walking up. But I could feel the tension. I ain't gonna even call it tension. I can feel just people like wondering, like, man, wait a minute. Because of the striking resemblance that I have, that me and this man have to where they thinking, man, this is that dude. So I'm saying that to say that, man, Hollywood is Hollywood, bro. You might have had certain people reach out, but man, what they say, no new friends, no fake friend, man. I don't need all that. Man, look, man.
I didn't even
man,
the way
They not like us.
Even then, the
not
way they did the movie, I just felt like they didn't take enough time with it. I wanted to ask you too, because with the movie, they didn't actually start. It's like they started with Tookie already being in prison. You know what I mean? Do you think was that more so because he didn't want none of that shown beforehand while he was still trying to get up out of there, or at least trying to beat the death penalty? Or do you think he just accepted that role as far as because he didn't want to see the beginning of his life?
Well, my father never seen the movie.
Oh, he never
I
actually seen
couldn't.
it?
Nah, he never seen it. I mean, no, he never seen it. I think it might have been played to him or something, but it's a lot of stuff in there that of course he couldn't have his hand. How can he have his hands in it behind the wall?
I ain't thinking more so having his hand, but I'm feeling like because I know, like he said, like with Meech, I'm sure if 50 talked to him, Meech is like, man, well, I want y'all to throw some of this in there, throw some of that in there, versus of giving him, like if Tookie was giving stories about his life to where they can put it together. But I just, like I'm saying, they just started from immediately with him being in jail. That was the only difference. What I was thinking of a movie about his life should have been more so producing from a child to how he came to be how he is. You know what I'm saying?
That's because you ain't gonna get the wool put over your eyes, right?
Right.
That means you yourself knowing your spirit, something faulty with this shit.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
There's no question about it. Something about this shit is faulty. First of all, why it never showed me in that picture, and I was an intricate part. You will never see nothing mentioned about me at all in that picture. At all. I'm talking about at all. Man, I'm that man right-hand man.
Right.
Guaranteed. There's no question about it. I was really all he had. I mean, you know how it is, man. Who else you got that you trust? Man, I was that man right-hand man. You ain't gonna see my name mentioned in that picture. You ain't gonna see my face in that picture. You ain't gonna see nothing in that picture. Why? So just what you saying is, man, that's what I understand, man. You know, man, look, we ain't crazy, bro. You know something about this ain't 100. And then and going back to what I was saying is that, man, how can it be 100 when he ain't on the set?
Right.
You know what I mean? All he can do is relay his message and believe that it's gonna get out there. But of course, you know, people gonna do whatever they gonna do. So what happened? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, you know, it's a reason why I stopped from there. And you see my grandmother, who is still alive once again. His mom is still alive. Talked to her not too long ago. You know what I mean? She getting up there, but she's still here. So to show her the city they talk about is wrong, how he came out here was wrong. And I don't want to put just shit on that movie per se. I'm just saying that to say that it's a lot of things that as the family, we were sitting in the background like, man, what is this? This BS. As far as that part.
Right.
But when it come to, you know, him in the cell and Jamie Foxx and saying that, I mean, of course, that's from his memoirs and whatnot. But, man, a lot of that stuff to me was phony baloney. For one, because it didn't show his family in a correct way. And I'm not going to say maybe he did. We never discussed it because all this was getting towards the end or towards that time that this was near his end. So that right there, man, I can't say, and I just, I can't say that was his doing. It might have been because once again, we was raised, and I'm saying, and you know it wasn't, but I'm saying it could have been that let's just say, okay, yeah, he did say, you know what, man, keep them out of this. You know what I mean? Because we definitely wouldn't have did it anyway.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't.
Could.
But like you said, yeah, I wouldn't even put that on because I don't think so. Because even I read his book, so his book was more detailed than the actual movie was.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we know that, man, look, you're a smart man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Come on, bro. Man.
Yeah, that just go back to what I was saying, though.
Was something fake when we know something that ain't, they ain't
right,
all
facts.
up and up per se. But I ain't knocking it. I ain't gonna knock it, man, because it'll sound like I'm some kind of bitter son sitting here. Well, I wouldn't have been in the movie. I probably wouldn't have did it if they told me to anyway. But
it ain't bitter. That's your right to me. Is this our culture? That's your dad. If you gonna do something like that, at least come and talk to the family. But that goes back to what I was saying about us needing to take ownership of our culture.
Of course.
Because everybody eating off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Vultures, huh?
Culture vultures, exactly. We part of that culture vulture killer society. We try to get rid of that and let's do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? The viral way. Right. But I'm gonna end it with this one because the way you speak is damn near like you could be like a damn near a college professor or something. You speak eloquently. You speak real intelligently. And I heard that at your dad's funeral, you went behind Farrakhan actually and gave a speech. How was that? Because this man is known for having legendary speeches, and to have to follow up somebody of that magnitude and give a speech of your own, like, what was your frame of mind at that time?
Man, just putting that image, that I say picture because it's an image once again in that brain, man. But just going back to it, I would say that if I'm not mistaken, I kind of said, man, that putting me on after Farrakhan was like putting Milli Vanilli on after Snoop Dogg. You know, how you gonna expect Milli Vanilli to rap, to rock the crowd after Snoop Dogg? So it was kind of like, man, it was meant. But it definitely wasn't something that, I'm just being, 100 with it, which I'm always am. But I think it was a plan to drown my message out, bro. I guarantee you it was. It was planned that way. Because nobody in their right mind gonna do no gonna set up no program. That's why I say, man, sometimes if everybody that's listening, that's what I want you guys to understand, man. When we dealing with this higher power, the way we dealing with it, man, the truth gonna always come out. Like, you saying stuff I ain't even gotta say. Everything y'all asking me, y'all already know the answer to. Because you even saying that ain't no person in their right mind gonna set up a program and put me on at the Farrakhan. No way you would do that. What's your rationale for doing that? You want this man to be the last message for different reasons. For one, because we want everybody to leave with what he have to say per se, but then how did I end up on there after him? See? That's what I've been dealing with my whole life, man. It's a lot, man, to where I know for a fact it was purposely done because it was to drown me out. But of course, through the spirit of the Most High and anointed Savior, I showed up and showed out. And that's humble. And I'm a humble brother. I say this humbly. This not me, but from what I heard, I did my thing. I held my own up there. But that was by design, bro. To where I knew it. When I looked at it, and I'm saying, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I'm going after him? What kind of madness is this? So now the question is, you guys do your research and say who came up with the program and why did they put it that way? Who would actually in their right mind sit up there and put me on at the Farrakhan? Okay, we want his son to go last. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Who put that together? I would have thought the family would have had the action of putting that together. So
when you dealing with, and I know we got to get out of here, so just let me know. And man, that's part. Stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2, and leave with the cliffhanger, man.
Y'all want to know? I'll tell you on the next one. All right,
man. Stay tuned on the next one, man. Give them your handles again, man, where they can find you at.
Man, I'm that old school. Give them my handle. What that mean?
That mean give them your clubhouse so they can start tuning in.
I'm gonna show you what I can handle. One of these knuckles. I got you. I know, bro. I ain't that slow, man. Shit, I feel like them young girls too. So I got.
Hey, we talk about the women on the next one.
Yeah, but man, just follow us, man. I'm on Clubhouse, man. Every Wednesday at 7:10. Tap in, tell a friend. Tookie Williams' son speaking, and he coming from a biblical perspective. That's Tookie Williams' son. Tookie son speaks. Let's Talk Christ on Clubhouse, or follow me on Instagram, Let's Talk Christ _. You see how we are? We play that madness, and I got all kind of handles and everything now, huh?
Come on, man.
See how quick he got them words out? That's right. Game related.
That's right. That's right.
And before we go, let me give a big shout out to my boy Rogue Hebrew, man.
That's right.
He came through with the customized jersey. You feel me?
Right.
Real viral. Don't get no more viral than this. And he had the green. What you say? Green thing, mean things.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Tap in, man. Holla at my boy Rogue Hebrew, man. If you want the customized jersey, the customized t-shirts, whatever, man. Holla at my boy, man. He does his thing. And y'all stay tuned for part 2, man. We got a lot more coming. It's a lot to unpack. Like I said, this is history. This is West Coast history. This is Black history. This is the culture. And we got to answer to the question, who are we?
That's right.
Because that's the number one question we need to know if we want to progress as Black people, period.
Give us y'all answers in the comments.
That's right. That's right.
I want to see how tapped in y'all is.
That's right. Questions too. We take questions too. We can answer some of them.
Make sure y'all share, like, subscribe to the channel, man. The viral way. Bang.
Ain't no handouts, I did it from the ground up. In the streets, thugging hardest where they found us. Got a problem, nigga, watch my troopers mount up. My bitches bang too, and you a lame though. You niggas ain't outside, yeah, we came through. You want your lights up, we put you on the shade.